Our boy, Sairai Yuri, is already making demands before he even gets isekai'd. The isekai lady is completely shook. My man really just tried to negotiate with a god. We flash back to a few minutes earlier, with our guy looking like a kid in a hospital. The isekai lady gives him the whole, "You've been chosen for another world" speech. Sairai Yuri looks less than thrilled, like he's being asked to work on a Saturday. Turns out he just died at 37 after a long illness, which explains the dead inside look. Our guy is trying to process this whole reincarnation gig from a so-called god. She explains that gods just yeet people into other worlds as part of their job. The isekai lady offers him the usual cheat skills, OP powers or a harem. But Sairai Yuri says, nah, he just wants a self-sufficient slow life. What a chad. The isekai lady is all smiles, saying his request for non-combat skills is an easy one. But the narration hits us with the classic, or so he thought, because it's never that simple. My man's simple request came with a whole damn list of demands for his perfect setup. She finally agrees to give him the bare minimum power to survive, which sounds totally legit. Sairai Yuri walks into the light, hyped for his second life and peaceful retirement. And his peaceful life immediately starts with him getting chased by a demonic-ass boar. This pig is the size of a damn car and it looks absolutely feral. Our boy is already convinced his second life is about to be a world record speed run. Mid-panic, he has a sudden moment of clarity like his one brain cell finally fired up. He remembers he got a stealth skill and is about to go full ninja on this thing. My man's having a wait what moment like he forgot his own cheat code. Our boy is screaming for a tutorial while the final boss of the tutorial is on his ass. My man is just shouting random voice commands like a boomer with a new Alexa. The boar is suddenly hit with the Metal Gear Solid, huh? Sound effect. My man vanished. Sairai Yuri is gloating about his stealth skill while the enemy is literally 2 feet away. His one brain cell fires again, reminding him to actually escape instead of just standing there. Sairai Yuri is now curled up in a ball, traumatized by his first taste of slow life. My man finally looks in the water and realizes he's been de-aged into a damn kid. He decides to do the classic isekai move and tries to summon his status window. The UI pops up and our boy is geeking out like he just got a new console. Sairai Yuri checks his stats and realizes they even flipped his name around, Japanese style. My man is already rationalizing being a 7-year-old, calling it a margin of error from the god. He scrolls through his skill list, which is stacked as hell for a bare minimum package. Our boy is already planning to use his magic to get out of farm work. The grind never stops. He immediately gets flashbacks of monsters and realizes practicing magic might be a bad idea. The dude decides to use that stealth skill he almost forgot about, finally using his brain. Sairai Yuri is actually thinking ahead, trying to prep for the next time he gets jumped. He then remembers all his skills are for a slow life, making them useless in a fight. My man pulls out a damn machete, trying to convince himself it's just a work tool. And after all that survival planning, his stomach growls loud enough to alert the whole forest. My man's stomach is already betraying him, reminding him survival isn't just about monsters. He checks his inventory and finds his starting rations are just a handful of sad, tasteless nuts. Our boy's to-do list is already a mile long: food, shelter, magic practice, and not dying. The dude is already feeling the grind, realizing his peaceful retirement is just more work. Just as he's about to give up, my man finally spots what looks like a village. And of course, it's not a village, it's a completely wrecked ghost town. He realizes this dump technically fits his request for land with buildings and no people. And this absolute madman is actually hyped, thinking the god totally hooked him up. Okay, even he has to admit the place is a total wreck that's been abandoned for ages. My man decides to scout his new post-apocalyptic starter home to see what he's working with. Sairai Yuri is breaking down his survival needs, realizing he's only got the clothes on his back. He spots a single barely standing shack and a well, and it's like he just found a 5-star hotel. Our boy sprints towards the dilapidated hut, like he's claiming his prize on a game show. He peeks inside and is hyped that it's only mostly falling apart and seems fixable. My man is already playing Animal Crossing in his head, planning out his entire farm layout. He stands in the dusty shack and declares the shelter mission complete. The bar is on the floor. Now the food problem hits him, and he realizes he has zero clue how to actually hunt. And just like that, he stumbles upon some wild watermelons and wheat. This world has cheat codes. He's standing in a field of free food, already planning his farming empire like a true tycoon. His brain finally kicks in, reminding him that random wild plants might just be poison. Sairai Yuri's brain finally boots up, remembering he has a skill for exactly this situation. He pulls up his menu and finds the appraisal skill, like a true gamer checking his loadout. The skill starts scanning the watermelon with a little loading animation, because of course it does. And boom! Appraisal complete. Let's see what the verdict is on this mystery fruit. The UI confirms both the melons and wheat are safe to eat and farm. My man just found a cheat code for infinite food. He finds some other stuff, but it's only good for eating, not planting. The grind is real. Another galaxy brain idea hits him. This kid is suddenly a survival expert. My man's recalling some DIY bird trap video, about to go full primitive technology on these birds. He spots his first potential victims, a couple of unsuspecting birds just chilling. The birds are pecking at some seeds, completely unaware they're about to be part of Seirai Yuri's first isekai meal. Our boy is hiding behind a fence with a villainous grin, about to commit his first isekai crime. My man is already getting cocky, thinking these birds are an easy meal. Famous last words. And just like that, his one brain cell fires again, reminding him he has actual skills. He realizes he has fire and wind magic, which is way easier than some janky DIY trap. But before he can cook anything, he hears a noise and goes full-on horror movie protagonist. Something massive smashes through the fence right next to him. This place is a death trap. And look who's back for round 2, the demonic-ass boar from the tutorial level. Seirai Yuri is having a PTSD flashback, realizing the pig actually tracked him down. The boar goes full Kool-Aid man through the fence, and our boy is back to running for his life. This time, he's not messing around and immediately tries to use his stealth skill. He learns. Seirai Yuri is hiding, thinking he's safe, but the boar is still way too close for comfort. And just when he thought he was in the clear, my man hears a noise that makes his soul leave his body. The boar turns around and starts demolishing the place like it's got a personal beef with architecture. Our boy is absolutely terrified, realizing this pig isn't just chasing him, it's on a full-blown rampage. He realizes the boar is just randomly wrecking buildings, basically trying to destroy his new starter home. Seirai Yuri is panicking because if this psycho pig destroys everything, he'll be homeless all over again. My man is questioning if his bare minimum powers can do anything against a walking demolition crew. The boar is going absolutely feral, and our boy is realizing this is way beyond a normal animal problem. Seirai Yuri looks completely defeated, ready to just abandon his post-apocalyptic dream village. But then he clenches his fist, deciding he's not going to let some overgrown bacon evict him on day 1. My man realizes his safe village is just a different kind of death trap, surrounded by who knows what. This pig has a personal vendetta. My man trespassed on the wrong property and now he's got a landlord from hell. Our boy finally plants his feet and decides to throw hands. No more running from this demonic bacon. Seirai Yuri is framing this as a turf war, like he's in some gang movie fighting for his block. He flashes back to his old life, realizing the peaceful nature he saw on a screen is a lot more violent in person. Our boy has a moment of clarity. If he wants this life, he's got to handle his own problems, starting with this pig. The kid's got that main character glow-up moment, deciding he's not getting clapped on day 1. He finally remembers he has magic and throws a level 1 fireball. Let's see what this bare minimum power does. And his level 1 spell creates a damn nuke. The Isekai lady's definition of bare minimum is a war crime. My man looks at the absolute devastation he caused and calls it trivial. This kid is a menace. Our boy is curled up in a ball, regretting his life choices and wishing he'd just picked the OP protagonist package. He's still hiding from the boar, admitting he was too scared to do anything but run. My man is staring at his skill list again, realizing his bare minimum is a full-blown cheat menu. The single brain cell finally connects the dots. He has magic from that totally trustworthy god. He's realizing his stealth skill is actually legit since the boar with super smell couldn't find him. Seirai Yuri clenches his fist, deciding to finally put some faith in his isekai starter pack. He's getting in the zone, trying to manifest his inner shonen protagonist with the power of belief. Our boy feels the power coursing through him, getting hyped like he's about to go Super Saiyan. He goes for the classic anime attack pose, shouting Fire Magic Level 1 at the top of his lungs. And his ultimate attack is a pathetic little puff of smoke. My man's a firebender from Wish.com. Our boy is staring at the pathetic little spark he just made, looking utterly confused. Seirai Yuri is still processing his epic fail as the wisp of smoke from his fireball disappears. He's already coping, telling himself it only failed because it was his first try. And of course, the demonic boar is standing right behind him, ready for round 2. My man is panicking, realizing his weak-ass magic just alerted the final boss to his location. He tries level 1 wind magic next, which just gives the boar a gentle, refreshing breeze. Then he uses level 1 wood magic, which just sprouts a cute little plant on the pig's head. With his magical makeover complete, our boy is back to running for his damn life. In a moment of desperation, he finally tries a higher level spell, Earth Magic Level 3. And the Level 3 spell creates a whole-ass mountain wall. Okay, so the levels actually matter. And the board just smashes through the wall like it's made of paper. This pig chose violence. Sairai Yuri is completely stunned. His one big brain move just got completely no-diffed. But the boar got its fat ass stuck in the wall. My man sees his opening and is ready to strike. Since his magic is useless, he pulls out that machete again. Time for some hands-on problem solving. Our boy is ready to throw down, realizing this is his only shot to not get evicted by a pig. He's having a flashback to a nature documentary, remembering that even big prey has weak points. My man spots the glowing weak point on the boar's flank. It's like a video game boss fight. He's shaking in his boots, questioning if he can actually stab a demonic pig with a garden tool. Sairai Yuri is terrified but knows he has to do this if he wants to see day 2. And he's off, charging at the stuck boar like his slow life depends on it, because it does. Our boy is screaming his war cry, about to give this demonic pig a permanent eviction notice. And just like that, the fight's over. My man is already saying a prayer for the bacon he just sent to the Shadow Realm. He's actually surprised at how easily he folded the boss once it was immobilized. Now he's staring at a car-sized pork chop and has absolutely no idea what to do with it. His one brain cell is firing again, remembering some novel he read about how to butcher an animal, and he immediately realizes he's not equipped for this, needing a whole river just to prep the body. Just as he's about to give up, a mysterious voice asks if he needs help. Classic Isekai timing. My man is freaking out, yelling for the disembodied voice to show itself. The voice says it's right here, and our boy looks up to see the 2 birds he was about to cook earlier. He's having a no-fucking-way moment as he realizes the birds are actually talking to him. The talking birds explain this is their first time speaking human, which is a hell of a reveal. Sairai Yuri's brain completely short-circuits, unable to process that his dinner is talking to him. He checks his skill list and finds the language skill, the source of this Dr. Dolittle bullshit. Our boy realizes his bare minimum language skill is so broken it even works on animals. My man is now wondering if he could have just negotiated with the demonic boar instead of killing it. The birds are trying to get his attention while he's having an existential crisis over talking animals. He just accepts his new talking bird friend's offer to help him butcher the giant pig. The birds are now his personal guides, showing him the best place to process his kill. Sairai Yuri finally asks why the hell a couple of birds are being so helpful all of a sudden. Turns out they're repaying him for the seeds he was using as bait to trap them earlier. The talking birds dip out and our boy is waving goodbye to his new animal sidekicks. My man is sweating with relief, realizing he almost ate the only friends he's made so far. Now he's back to the problem of trying to move a car-sized pork chop all by himself. The single brain cell finally fires, reminding him he has a skill for this exact problem. He pulls up the menu and remembers he has a storage skill, the most classic isekai cheat. Our boy is reading the instructions like it's an IKEA manual for his new pocket dimension. He just taps the boar and yeets the entire damn thing into his inventory. Problem solved. Sairai Yuri is staring at the empty space, completely shook by his own broken-ass skill. He checks the UI and learns it's a pocket dimension where food never spoils. Infinite bacon glitch. My man is finally hyped, realizing his slow life package is actually a speedrunner's dream build. Sairai Yuri is suddenly hyped for manual labor and actually remembers to use his stealth skill this time. He pulls the car-sized boar out of his inventory and plans to use water magic to clean it. Modern problems require magic solutions. My man is elbow deep in boar guts and is clearly regretting his life choices. The slow life is messy as hell. The butchering is finally done, and the evidence is just casually floating in the river. Job done, I guess. Our boy is completely wiped out, realizing that even his cheat skills drain his energy. The grind is real. Like a true gamer, he immediately pulls up his menu to check his stats after a tough fight. He's already burned through half his mana, and his stats look pretty damn average for a chosen one. My man's coping hard, thinking that the demonic boar must have been a low-level scrub if he could beat it. But the narrator confirms our boy is just a dumbass. His stats are OP, and that boar was a real threat. He's completely unaware that his blood-bending magic is a legendary skill, just chilling by the river thinking about swords. Our boy uses his appraisal skill on the pork chop and confirms it's not going to give him space worms. He whips out his earth magic to build a DIY oven, because who needs a kitchen when you have magic? Then he uses that pathetic fire magic from before, which is apparently good enough to start a campfire. My man is acting all smug like a survival expert, talking about proper campfire etiquette he learned online. And just like that, he's got a giant Flintstone-style meat roast cooking. The slow life is looking up. Our boy is about to cry, remembering he hasn't had a real meal in years thanks to his old illness. He's decided this giant pork roast will be his first official meal in the new world. The hype is real. My man's about to go feral on this thing, hyped up on the fact that he actually earned this meal, and he finally takes a bite. The moment of truth for our demonic bacon. The kid is just chowing down, finally getting a taste of that hard-earned victory pork. Our boy takes a hesitant bite, probably half expecting it to taste like demonic ass. And the flavor is so good it sends a shockwave through the forest, scaring the local wildlife. My man is having a full-on foodgasm, praising the quality of the demonic bacon he just murdered. He's so moved by the taste of actual food that he's literally crying onto his feet. The kid's having an emotional breakdown, realizing this is the first real meal he's had in years. Sairai Yuri is finally processing that he's actually alive, and not just surviving in a hospital bed. And my man cleaned the bones so thoroughly it looks like it's been professionally sanitized. With the food problem solved for now, he's back on the grind, planning to fix up his new crib. My man's drawing a line in the sand, setting up a makeshift alarm system against any more demonic landlords. Sairai Yuri looks all proud of his dirt line like he just built Fort Knox with a stick. Sairai Yuri's got a new quest objective and is already drawing blueprints in the dirt like he's playing Minecraft. Our boy is already planning his first big construction project, a giant wall to keep the demonic landlords out. He thinks about using wood but realizes he has no tools and it's weak as hell. The lazy route is not an option. Next idea is a stone wall, but that sounds like actual work, so that's a hard pass for our boy. Sairai Yuri finally settles on a plan, realizing he's been overthinking this whole manual labor thing. He remembers his earth magic wall got clapped by the boar, but it's still his fastest option. The kid's one brain cell fires up, thinking he can make the magic stronger by refining the materials. And just like that, Sairai Yuri enters his magical pottery training arc. The grind never stops. His practice pays off, going from lumpy trash to a perfectly crafted pot. My man's a natural. Our boy is admiring his handiwork, proud that he's finally mastered the basics of his earth magic. Sairai Yuri is checking out his magic-infused dirt, realizing it's basically concrete without the mixing. My man holds up his creation, calling it magic stoneware, like he just invented a new material class. The kid gets a serious artisan face, talking about how the quality of the mud is everything. He's using earth magic to sift his dirt, getting rid of all the twigs and rocks for that premium build quality. Our boy is in a full-on martial arts stance, kneading a mountain of clay with his mind. He raises his hand like he's about to part the Red Sea, getting ready to shape his grand design. And boom, a whole-ass wall just appears. My man is playing Minecraft with cheat codes. Sairai Yuri is admiring his 5-meter-tall wall, confident that no pig is breaking through this absolute unit. His master plan is to just build 3 more of these and turn his shack into a fortress. And just like that, his house is in a giant box. My man proudly calls this depressing cube his castle. Sairai Yuri is admiring his new fortress while his bird friends do a flyby inspection. My man is already feeling claustrophobic, realizing his castle is just a high-security prison he built for himself. He's already planning a back door, deciding to just yeet a wall into his inventory when he needs to leave. The sun's setting and he wants to clock out, but the survival grind is a 24/7 job with no benefits. His one brain cell reminds him of a tiny detail he forgot. He needs water to not die. Our boy is kicking himself for focusing on home defense before securing a damn drinking fountain. He remembers the well he found earlier, his face lighting up like he just remembered a side quest. Sairai Yuri opens the well, hoping it's not just a decorative hole in the ground. He peers into the abyss, unable to see if he's about to hit the jackpot or just a pile of dirt. My man goes full caveman, about to drop a rock down to see if it makes a splash. Sairai Yuri is leaning over the well, listening for the splash like he's trying to crack a safe. And he hears it. My man is hyped to find out his new home comes with running water. But of course, the well is busted as hell, with no way to actually get the water out. Our boy realizes he has to use magic again, even though he's running on fumes. The grind is relentless. He goes full waterbender, trying to will the water out of the well with the power of his mind. And it actually works. A little blob of water just floats right up to him. My man is so proud of his little water slime, happy that it's not full of ancient sewer germs. He uses appraisal just to be safe, and the UI confirms the water is cleaner than a bottle of Fiji. Our boy lets out a sigh of relief, finally having secured the last piece of the survival puzzle. Sairai Yuri is completely wiped, realizing his first day of retirement was more work than his old job. My man's first night in his new crib is on a sad pile of leaves he calls a bed. Sairai Yuri's already got a backlog of chores, realizing his retirement is just unpaid labor. But this absolute madman is actually hyped, seeing this as a fun DIY project. Our boy is genuinely excited for tomorrow, ready to start his Animal Crossing playthrough in real life. And the next morning, he wakes up feeling like he just got jumped by the floor. Turns out his 5-star leaf mattress was just a pile of crunchy disappointment. Sairai Yuri decides today's mission is to turn that demonic boar into a luxury blanket. He's about to go full caveman, but remembers he might have a skill for this. Our boy scrolls through his menu and finds a unique skill called Countryside Living Guide. He realizes the god gave him a literal instruction manual for his slow life. What a bro. Our boy is literally using his skill menu like it's Google, searching for a DIY tanning tutorial. The guide shows him the massive hide, and he's realizing this is going to be a whole-ass project. Step 2 is washing the hide, and our boy looks like he's scrubbing a giant slimy booger. Now he's scraping fat off the hide with his machete. The slow life is just a series of gross chores. He's finally done with the gross part, and is already dreading whatever fresh hell the next step is. The guide hits him with a soak for 2 weeks step, and my man is losing his mind over the wait time. The recipe calls for salt and alum, and our boy is realizing he has none of that shit. And just like that, the project is dead. My man got folded by a crafting recipe he can't even make. He officially gives up on the blanket, deciding to just suffer on his leaf pile and tackle another problem. With the blanket quest on hold, Sairai Yuri decides it's time to clean his post-apocalyptic starter home. Sairai Yuri is checking out the blueprints for his new crib, which is basically a dirt floor studio apartment. My man's giving himself a tour of the dump, trying to figure out which pile of dirt is the bedroom. He's already complaining about the dirt floor, deciding he's too bougie to sleep on the ground. With his mana back, our boy is ready to start his magical home renovation show. He uses earth magic to turn his dirt floor into a proper foundation. My man's playing The Sims in real life. Our boy is chilling on his new floor, looking smug as hell about his Japanese-style hearth design. The dude is just staring out his newly fixed window, probably planning his next DIY project. And of course, the narrator confirms his basic earth magic is actually legendary tier. This kid is clueless. Instead of a broom, my man just uses wind magic to yeet all the dust out of his house. Sairai Yuri is admiring his now sparkling shack like he just finished an episode of Extreme Makeover, Isekai'd edition. Our boy's already planning his next DIY project, deciding to make a lamp out of that demonic bacon fat. My man is already missing modern plumbing, realizing he's too good for pooping in a hole in the ground. The next morning, his talking bird sidekicks are back on the roof to act as his personal alarm clock. And our boy is crying his eyes out, probably because his 5-star leaf bed gave him a spinal injury. He finally remembers his inventory skill, deciding to check if it has a user manual he missed. And it turns out the god gave him a full-blown starter pack with food, potions, and even a damn letter. My man is having a breakdown, realizing he almost died of starvation while having a whole pantry in his pocket dimension. But the real kicker is the letter from the Isekai lady, which is about to drop some serious lore. The Isekai lady's letter warns him to keep his OP skills on the down low around the locals. And the letter has another bombshell, this time about the true nature of his living magic. The letter explains his living magic is basically a cheat code for daily chores like lighting fires and purifying stuff. My man's mind is blown, realizing purification means he never has to wipe his ass again. The slow life just got a major quality of life update. He's staring at his breakfast, realizing he's been doing everything the hard way like a damn chump. The dude has a flashback to his gamer days, admitting he always skipped tutorials and then got surprised by basic features. Some things never change. Sairai Yuri is now being extra careful, but you can tell he's still salty about his own incompetence. Our boy is already tired of plain demonic bacon and is craving some seasoning. The 5-star meal experience was short-lived. His next brilliant idea is to go full-on scavenger, hoping to find some salt in the abandoned ruins. My man is already complaining to the god again, asking why she didn't just throw some spices in the starter pack. While looting a collapsed house, our boy spots something that isn't just rubble and dust, and he finds a damn map. The slow life is officially turning into a treasure-hunting side quest. Sairai Yuri is checking out his new loot, surprised the ancient paper map didn't just turn to dust. The map is basically a doodle of some trees, and our boy is already confused by its simplicity. He spots an X on the map and immediately thinks it's either a boss fight or a loot drop. And just like that, Sairai Yuri decides to follow the random treasure map. What could possibly go wrong? Our boy is now on a full-blown adventure, leaving his half-built fortress for a side quest. He's rationalizing his treasure hunt, saying there must be a reason a village was built here. My man is already daydreaming about treasure, but then tries to play it cool like he's not in it for the money. Sarai Yuri decides the only way to find out is to just walk into the potential death trap. And our boy immediately stops dead in his tracks, looking like he just saw a ghost. Turns out the treasure map leads to a dead end with no path. The side quest is already bugged. Sarai Yuri is already complaining about the overgrown grass, realizing his treasure hunt requires actual effort. His brain immediately jumps to man-eating plants, because of course this world is trying to kill him. Our boy is about to rage quit the side quest, but his one brain cell finally logs on. My man facepalms, once again remembering he has magic and doesn't have to solve problems like a peasant. He actually shows some sense for once, deciding not to commit arson with his fire magic. Instead, he goes full anime protagonist and whips out a wind cutter to clear the path. And just like that, he becomes a magical lawnmower, carving a path through the jungle. Sarai Yuri is hyped about his new landscaping skills, but remembers to check for poison ivy first. While clearing the path, he stumbles upon a couple of mysterious stone tablets. The plot thickens. He uses appraisal on some nearby plants and discovers more free food. This kid's luck is insane. Our boy is hyped about finding some wild greens, finally adding a vegetable to his all-bacon diet. And just like that, he spots some wild yams. This kid's foraging luck is absolutely insane. My man is already drooling over the yams, realizing he just stumbled upon a gourmet ingredient. The narration explains these yams are a pain in the ass to harvest, taking over a decade to grow. But Sarai Yuri just smirks, remembering he can just cheat his way through manual labor with magic. He goes full earthbender on the ground, trying to gently lift his prize without breaking it. And out pops a damn mandrake-looking thing. My man just summoned a vegetable person by accident. Sarai Yuri is just staring at the weird root, completely baffled by what he just dug up. He picks up the little root dude, trying to convince himself it's not some kind of monster. And now he's comparing it to a sexy daikon radish. This kid's brain is officially broken. Sarai Yuri just yeets the weird root into his inventory, deciding to deal with that problem later. And his danger sense immediately goes off. My man's face says, "I've made a terrible mistake." The kid's getting a bad feeling, realizing this treasure hunt is about to turn into a boss rush. Something just tried to slice him in half, and our boy is back to his default state, running for his life. My man eats dirt trying to dodge, proving his agility stat is still at level 1. He looks back and sees the ground got carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey. That was a close one. Our boy is trying to figure out if he just got jumped by a monster or a pissed-off local. He hears a noise from above and looks up with the face of a man who knows he's screwed. And it's a goddamn praying mantis the size of a building. The slow life is a lie. Sarai Yuri is just staring in horror, realizing his treasure map led him straight to the final boss. Our boy is processing that the final boss of this side quest is an invisible, building-sized mantis. He remembers his Dr. Dolittle skill and actually tries to negotiate with the giant bug. This is a terrible idea, and the mantis immediately responds to his peace treaty by trying to slice him in half. Negotiations have failed. Sarai Yuri is back to his signature move, running for his damn life from an oversized animal. Yeah, this thing is not interested in diplomacy. It just wants to turn our boy into a shish kebab. And just like that, the damn thing goes invisible again, leaving our boy completely exposed in the open. My man is hiding in the grass, realizing one hit is a one-way ticket back to the Isekai'd lady. Another attack comes out of nowhere, and our boy is just barely dodging death like it's his day job. His danger sense tingles, and he finally remembers he has a detection skill that's been on the whole time. Sarai Yuri finally gets a big brain idea. Use his passive radar skill to track the invisible boss. Sarai Yuri's using his detection skill, realizing the mantis is invisible but not undetectable. My man's got a built-in UAV. Our boy gets a galaxy brain idea and starts summoning some water blobs. Time for a little magic trick. Sarai Yuri declares his counterattack, ready to go full waterbender on this overgrown bug. He learns his water magic can literally pull moisture from the air. Another broken skill from the bare minimum package. My man just splashed the whole damn mantis with water, completely negating its invisibility cloak. Sarai Yuri is trying to drown the bug, telling it to just give up and die already. He's already planning to turn the boss into crafting materials. This kid's got the gamer grind set down. Just as he's about to secure his loot, some weird black tentacle thing pops out of the water. Sarai Yuri is completely shook. His perfect plan just got a surprise plot twist. And the plot twist is a pair of giant parasitic worms bursting out of the mantis. The boss had a boss. Our boy is wondering if these nightmare worms are about to turn him into a host. The sheer grossness of the situation is about to make my man log out permanently. In his panic, he shreds the worms and the mantis, losing all his potential loot. Smooth. Our boy is just groaning in the woods, probably regretting this whole side quest. After all that, my man is lost, complaining that all the trees look the same. And just as he's about to give up, he spots a suspicious-looking cave entrance. Samurai Yuri checks his doodle-ass map and decides this is definitely the treasure spot. He peers into the cave and has a galaxy brain realization. It's dark in there. My man finally uses his brain and crafts a DIY torch with magic and boar parts. He heads inside, noting it's man-made but looks completely empty. The treasure hunt continues. Samurai Yuri decides to just walk into the creepy-ass cave because what's the worst that could happen? My man's complaining about his janky sandals, realizing his footwear is not up to OSHA standards. The dude's already thinking about the economy, realizing he's broke and needs to sell materials to survive. Our boy is still hoping for a big score, because a near-death experience isn't enough to kill the hype. And just like that, he turns a corner and his jaw hits the floor. The side quest might actually pay off. Holy shit, the treasure is a whole-ass crystal the size of a damn house. My man just found the mother lode. Samurai Yuri is geeking out over his find, calling the giant glowing rock his treasure, and he's immediately back at camp, celebrating his win with a perfectly seasoned piece of demonic bacon. Turns out the treasure was a giant-ass rock of salt. My man risked his life for seasoning. Our boy is happily calling his life smooth after almost dying twice. The denial is strong with this one. Samurai Yuri is having a flashback to the two final bosses he just fought, questioning what a slow life even is. My man's got a nagging feeling he's forgetting something important from his original retirement plan. And the one brain cell finally logs on, reminding him of the one thing every slow life protagonist does. Our boy is hyped as hell to finally start his farming arc. The Stardew Valley playthrough begins now. He's already acting like a pro, saying the first step is to prep the soil like a true farmer. My man's dropping proverbs like a wise old man, talking about how preparation is everything, and his hoe immediately bounces off the rock-hard ground. So much for being a seasoned farmer. Samurai Yuri immediately gives up on manual labor and just uses his magic to yeet the weeds. Now he's using his magic to till the entire field, giving a whole TED talk on soil aeration. And he's bummed that his magic was so OP he didn't even get to use the hoe he made. Samurai Yuri decides to do at least one row by hand, just to feel like he actually earned it. My man looks over his perfectly tilled field, proud of the hard work his magic did for him. He realizes he needs fertilizer, but his post-apocalyptic village is fresh out of farm animals. My man briefly considers using his own product, but even he has standards. The slow life has limits. Just as he's having a fertilizer crisis, his personal bird sidekicks show up to check on him. The talking birds do a flyby, asking what's up with the human who almost ate them, and the single brain cell fires with the most galaxy brain and disgusting idea yet. Samurai Yuri is staring at his bird friends with a look that says, "I need something from you, and it's weird." The birds connect the dots, realizing he's looking at them like they're walking fertilizer bags. My man is begging his only friends to bring their entire flock over to shit on his farm. This is peak slow life. The birds are asking what's wrong, and our boy is trying to act casual before making the weirdest request of all time. My man formally introduces himself because you gotta be polite before you ask your friends to be your personal fertilizer factory. The birds are completely lost, asking what the hell a name is. This kid is trying to have a society lesson with his dinner. Samurai Yuri is trying to explain the concept of names to two animals who probably just call each other bird. The birds are just confirming with each other that nope, they have no idea what this human is on about. He just tells them to call him Yuri, and they're like, "Aight, bet." My man is just happy to have friends, period. Our boy is getting all sentimental, realizing how nice it is to have someone to talk to, even if they're birds. The kid realizes he hasn't seen a single human yet, but he's not complaining. People are overrated anyway. My man is now building a giant compost toilet, throwing grass into a pit he dug with his bare hands. The birds are flying over his new DIY toilet, and our boy is proudly admiring his handiwork. My man is giving his bird friends a full-blown lecture on the science of composting. He realizes his DIY fertilizer is going to take forever, and his plants are hungry right now. Samurai Yuri finds a random pot of ash and has a galaxy brain moment. The birds explain it's basically instant fertilizer they saved for him. These sidekicks are clutch as hell. Our boy is out here living a Japanese folktale, spreading magic ash with his animal friends. My man wipes his brow, declaring the prep work for his farming empire is finally complete. He lays out his starter pack of crops, wheat, potatoes, and some random shit he found in the woods. And he remembers the weird, sad-looking mandrake root he yoinked earlier. Since he's not about to eat that cursed vegetable, he just yeets it back into the ground. Sairai Yuri finally remembers to ask about the weather, recalling the god promised him a chill climate. Sairai Yuri is finally planting his wheat, thinking he's about to kickstart his farming empire. And his bird friends immediately start eating the seeds, thinking he's just giving them another free meal. My man is panicking, trying to explain to his only friends that they're eating his future bread. The birds are completely clueless, having no idea what the concept of farming even is. Our boy is getting help from his bird friends who are just pulling up the sprouts he's trying to plant. Despite the setbacks, he finally gets all his different crops planted with his bird sidekicks watching. He immediately starts cheating, using wood magic to give his new plants a growth spurt. Then he uses water magic to make it rain because manual labor is for peasants. On cloudy days, my man just uses light magic to become a personal sun for his crops. And when it's too sunny, he just whips out dark magic to create some shade. This kid's got a cheat for everything. The narrator confirms our boy's farming arc was a success thanks to his cheat code magic. And just like that, we get a 2-month time skip. The grind is officially in montage mode. My man's fortress is now a full-blown Stardew Valley farm. The post-apocalyptic glow-up is real. Sairai Yuri is finally chilling on a proper bed, looking like he's actually on vacation. The kid is absolutely vibing, finally getting a taste of that slow life he almost died for. He's monologuing about how safe he feels in his fortress. My man built his own gated community. Our boy even named his bird sidekicks Sakura and Amochi. The found family arc is starting. But sometimes his friends bring the whole damn neighborhood over, and my man is not built for crowds. The birds are dipping out for the winter, leaving our boy to fend for himself. Sairai Yuri is watching his only friends leave, and the loneliness is already hitting him. Sairai Yuri is having an emo moment, realizing the solo life he wanted is actually lonely as hell. And just like that, his bird sidekicks are back, screaming his name like the world is ending. My man immediately assumes they're being chased by a monster, ready to throw hands again. The birds drop a bombshell. There's another kid out here, and they're in deep shit. Sairai Yuri immediately agrees to the rescue mission. The slow life is officially on hold. His bird friends are now his personal GPS, leading him straight into the danger zone. Our boy is running through the woods, already trying to figure out how another kid got lost out here. Then a dark thought hits him. Maybe the kid wasn't lost, but abandoned. Damn. The birds lead him to a clearing, and our boy is ready for whatever's waiting for him. He arrives at the spot, looking confused as hell. The rescue target is nowhere in sight. Sairai Yuri arrives at the scene and finds absolutely nothing. His bird GPS might be busted. My man starts yelling into the woods like he's trying to get himself killed on a side quest. And of course, the only response he gets is dead silence. This is starting to feel like a trap. His bird friends are telling him to use his eyes, basically calling him a dumbass for missing the obvious. He finally spots a weird glow on the ground. The side quest marker has appeared. Our boy peeks around the corner, finally using his brain to be cautious for once. And the kid is a whole-ass fairy who's passed out in the grass. The slow life just got a fantasy update. My man's first thought is that she looks like a high-end anime figure. This dude's priorities are wild. Sairai Yuri immediately goes into hero mode, pulling up his menu to figure out how to save her. He diagnoses her with mana exhaustion, realizing she's not hurt, just running on empty. Sairai Yuri pulls out a mana potion, remembering he has a whole pharmacy in his pocket. He tries to give the fairy the potion, wondering if she even has a mouth. Sairai Yuri is sweating, realizing he has no idea how to administer a potion to a literal fairy. Our boy just dumps the whole potion on the fairy like she's a houseplant. Sairai Yuri is hyped that his questionable medical technique actually worked. The fairy wakes up covered in potion, looking like she just took a slime bath. Sairai Yuri is watching the fairy wake up, probably wondering if she's about to grant him wishes. The fairy is completely confused, asking what the hell this human just did to her. Sairai Yuri is completely shook by the fairy's reaction, realizing he might have messed up. Our boy is panicking as the fairy starts yelling at him for his questionable first aid. The fairy is telling Sairai Yuri he's lucky to have met her, and my man's just sitting there like, sure, whatever. She's acting all high and mighty, saying he should be honored to have saved her. The attitude on this tiny anime figure is insane. Our boy is trying to get a lore dump, asking why a spirit is even talking to a human in the first place. The fairy explains she's a spirit of sake, basically a walking bottle of booze with a superiority complex. Sairai Yuri immediately simplifies her complex explanation to, so you're a ghost, and she is not having it. She asks for his name and then hits him with the I don't have one line. Classic mysterious side character move. His bird sidekicks are chirping in the background, basically flexing on the fairy because they have names. The fairy explains that spirits are too cool for names and just vibe check each other with their magic. She's giving him a look that says, "Imagine needing a name to be identified. The shade is real." Sairai Yuri just accepts this, probably too tired to argue with a magical being about social constructs. The booze fairy is offering to let Sairai Yuri name her, and my man is already tired of her whole vibe. Our boy is completely lost, his one brain cell failing to process this conversation. The fairy hits him with the guilt trip, asking if he's really going to abandon a poor, helpless spirit. And just like that, she forcefully joins his party, basically inviting herself to be his new roommate. The booze fairy arrives at his village and is immediately underwhelmed by the post-apocalyptic scenery. She's floating around his new crib, and Sairai Yuri can't believe this tiny anime figure actually followed him home. The booze fairy immediately starts roasting his starter home, calling it a complete dump. She's absolutely floored to learn that, yes, he actually lives in this post-apocalyptic shithole. Our boy explains he's the only resident, but his bird sidekicks keep him from going completely insane. The booze fairy is having a moment of pity, realizing this kid is living a solo survival horror game. The booze fairy is giving him the "you poor bastard" look, and my man is just now realizing it. And the booze fairy's one brain cell finally connects the dots about her new living situation. She realizes if he's the only one here, that means there's no booze. Her priorities are straight, at least. And the reality of a dry, post-apocalyptic village hits her like a truck. The absolute horror. She's already begging him to build a bar, shaking like she's going through withdrawal. The booze fairy's soul leaves her body, realizing this place is a teetotaler's paradise. She's screaming at him that she'll literally die without booze, and my man is just not feeling the urgency. Our boy is checking on the booze fairy, who's now coughing up a lung on the ground. The booze fairy just sighs, completely done with this kid's lack of a personal brewery. She clarifies that while she won't die, she's basically running on low power mode without her juice. The booze fairy is having a full-blown meltdown over the lack of alcohol, and my man is just not feeling the sympathy. Our boy hits her with a contract. He'll keep her supplied with potions if she agrees to be his new freeloader roommate. She throws a fit, threatening to leave, but Sairai Yuri knows damn well she's bluffing. My man realizes he's now responsible for a tiny alcoholic freeloader. The slow life just got a dependent. He checks his inventory and realizes he's only got 2 mana potions left. That's not going to cut it for this fairy's habit. Sairai Yuri looks to the sky and decides it's time to enter his potion brewing training arc. He announces he's going to start making potions, while the booze fairy is passed out cold on the roof. My man's already used his earth magic to craft some DIY potion bottles. This kid's crafting skill is getting out of hand. He's thinking that potion making usually requires a whole skill tree, which he definitely doesn't have. But then he remembers his countryside living guide and pulls it up. The god really did give him a wiki for everything. Sairai Yuri is literally using his skill menu like it's WikiHow, searching for a potion recipe, and the guide hits him with a full-ass crafting tree. My man is calling his instruction manual master now. He's checking the list, realizing he can already craft some basic stuff with what he's got lying around. Our boy gets hyped, ready to start his alchemist training arc. The grind is back on. And just like that, he's mass-produced a whole damn pharmacy. My man doesn't do things by half. He's looking at his stash, thinking this should be enough to keep his alcoholic freeloader from having a meltdown. And the grind pays off, unlocking a brand new compounding skill. My man's leveling up by accident. Sairai Yuri is feeling himself, realizing he's not just limited to the starter pack the god gave him. The booze fairy wakes up and immediately starts questioning the new decor. She's losing her mind over the potion stash, and our boy just casually says he whipped it up. The booze fairy is looking at him like there's no way this kid just cooked up a whole pharmacy. Our boy offers her a taste test, even making a tiny cup for her. The customer service is top tier. She's staring at the potion like he just handed her a bowl of poison. The skepticism is real. The booze fairy finally takes a sip, probably expecting it to taste like dirt and regret. She hits him with the "it tastes like ass" review, and my man just accepts the feedback. Sairai Yuri is waiting for the rest of the roast, but the booze fairy has a plot twist. And the plot twist is that his ass-tasting potion is the best she's ever had. A true backhanded compliment. Our boy is absolutely beaming, hyped that his first attempt got a 5-star review from the freeloader. Now that she's juiced up, the booze fairy is stretching and dipping out for a walk like a cat. Sairai Yuri is just happy she's not dying anymore, realizing she's the type to be brutally honest. Sairai Yuri is wondering what made his homemade potion so damn good. The booze fairy says she's had a weird feeling about him since they first met. She decides that even without booze, this kid is interesting enough to stick around for. And we get another 2-week time skip. Summer's here and the farm is thriving. The narrator reminds us that farming in this heat is basically a death sentence for normal people. But our boy is just chilling, using his magic for personal AC and a hydration system. The booze fairy is watching him, completely shook by his infinite mana cheat code. She tells him no sane person uses this much magic for farming, and he's just like, huh? She just gives up, saying he might as well use it since he's clearly got mana to burn. The booze fairy dips out for a nap, leaving Seirai Yuri holding a bird's nest like a new dad. Seirai Yuri is monologuing about how his new freeloader roommate is surprisingly low maintenance. My man is having a deep thought, probably about how his slow life is just a series of chores. Our boy is just vibing with the summer weather, finally getting a moment of peace. He realizes he's been wearing the same fit for months and needs a wardrobe update. And just like that, Seirai Yuri is back on the grind, starting a new side quest for crafting materials. The tall grass starts rustling, and you know that means either a boss fight or free loot. Our boy is on a nature walk, realizing this forest is basically a free-for-all grocery and hardware store, and he hits the jackpot, finding a whole field of plants he can turn into new clothes. My man finds some cotton and is hyped to start his own Isekai textile factory. Seirai Yuri spots something in the bushes, probably another weird-ass monster or a new ingredient. Seirai Yuri stumbles upon a whole-ass cloud of bugs, realizing nature is still annoying in another world. My man's trying to convince himself they're harmless, thinking about just walking around the problem. And of course, one of the little bastards flies right up to his face for a personal introduction. The single brain cell fires, reminding him he's been worried about giant pigs and forgot about tiny assassins. The narrator hits him with a National Geographic special on mosquitoes, the deadliest animal on Earth. His brain starts listing off all the other tiny nightmares that carry plagues, and the panic sets in. My man realizes this world probably has space malaria, and his potions might not cover that. The existential dread hits him as he stares down the barrel of a single buzzing mosquito. And just like that, our boy is screaming and flailing like he's being attacked by a ghost. Seirai Yuri officially aborts the clothing quest, deciding bug spray is the new top priority. Our boy is now on a speed run to find natural bug repellent, remembering some random facts from the internet. He pulls up his personal WikiHow, hoping this world has a copy-paste version of Earth's plants. And of course, he immediately finds the isekai equivalent of bug-killing flowers. This kid's luck is a cheat code. The guide confirms he can make old-school mosquito coils, and my man is hyped for some DIY pest control, and the recipe hits him with a 6-month drying time. My man is about to get eaten alive before he can even craft. Seirai Yuri is frantically scrolling through his magic tutorial, looking for a damn shortcut. The single brain cell finally logs on, and our boy has a galaxy brain idea to solve his bug problem. And his brilliant idea is just to commit arson on the whole field. When in doubt, fire. My man is now hotboxing his entire property to smoke out the bugs. The slow life is getting hazy. Seirai Yuri is proudly admiring his work, acting like he just rediscovered a lost ancient technique. My man is explaining his master plan, which is basically just hotboxing his house with ancient Japanese bug repellent. He's confident this will solve the problem, but then he hears a suspicious rattling from inside the smoke cloud. And the booze fairy comes screaming out of the house like he just committed a war crime. My man almost smoked his roommate. She's going off on him for trying to murder her, and our boy is just now realizing he forgot she was inside. The booze fairy tries to play it cool, acting like his amateur extermination attempt didn't even faze her. She floats back and all pouty, and our boy is just trying to apologize for almost gassing his only friend. The booze fairy is roasting him for waiting until summer to deal with bugs, basically calling him a clueless dumbass. She drops some lore that some bugs here are literal mana vampires, and my man looks like he's about to have another panic attack. The booze fairy gets a thoughtful look, probably realizing she's stuck with a complete amateur who needs a babysitter. Our boy asks her to be his personal isekai life coach, and you can tell she's warming up to the idea. The booze fairy is completely stunned, probably because he's the first person to ask her for help instead of a drink. And she's actually down for it, giving him a smile that says, "This dumbass is my personal project now." She lays down her terms. She'll teach him stuff if he gets her booze, and my man is already complaining it's impossible. Seirai Yuri is just sighing, realizing his new life coach is running on an alcohol-based payment plan. My man is whining about booze while the fairy has a full-on dramatic fainting spell in the background. The booze fairy is stretching, reminding him for the 10th time that she can't just magic up some sack for him. She's back to her default freeloader mode, just chilling and being sassy without even having a name. After 2 months, she finally tells him he can try naming her, but she'll only answer if she likes it. Our boy suggests Tinkerbell and gets hit with the most aggressive silent treatment in history. Sarai Yuri realizes none of his names are good enough for her, and she just floats off, completely unimpressed. Sarai Yuri is just processing their new dynamic, which is basically him being the straight man to her chaotic energy. And after an awkward few weeks of this, we're back in the wheat fields where the real action happens. Our boy is admiring his wheat harvest, finally ready to cash in on his farming arc. The booze fairy immediately stops him, probably because she sees her future alcohol supply about to be harvested. She challenges him to a harvesting contest, and of course, the prize is him making her booze. Her priorities are locked in. Sarai Yuri calls out her BS, asking what he gets if he wins this one-sided bet. The booze fairy gets all sundere, saying she'll grant him a wish like it's a big deal. My man hits her with the ultimate Uno reverse. If he wins, she can never mention booze again. Absolute savage move. The booze fairy is sweating, realizing she just bet her entire personality on a farming contest. She accepts the challenge, acting all tough while our boy is just thinking how she brought this on herself. And the great wheat harvesting war begins. My man's got a sickle, the booze fairy's got a whole-ass log. Sarai Yuri starts harvesting by hand, thinking he can win this with good old-fashioned manual labor. He's already regretting this reckless bet, but is too proud to back down now. My man glances over, thinking there's no way this tiny freeloader is a threat. Famous last words. And the booze fairy goes absolutely feral, mowing down wheat like a tiny alcoholic combine harvester. Sarai Yuri is just watching her zip around like a hummingbird on crack, realizing he's getting absolutely folded. She's screaming about how booze is her life force, and my man is witnessing the power of true desperation. Our boy finally realizes he completely underestimated her. Her lazy attitude was just her low power mode. Sarai Yuri decides he has no choice but to stop playing fair. The kid gloves are officially off. My man gets serious, deciding to pull out the cheat codes because his peaceful, booze-free life is on the line. The booze fairy is already celebrating, thinking she's about to secure her lifetime supply of drinks. And she immediately gets yeeted by a gust of wind. My man just chose violence. Sarai Yuri whips out a wind cutter and harvests the entire field in one shot. Absolute overkill. The dude just became a one-man combine harvester, and the booze fairy is getting a front-row seat. The booze fairy is just floating there, completely stunned that she just got folded by a cheat code. My man stands over his massive loot pile, looking smug as hell about his victory. Our boy's a little sad his first harvest was over so fast, but a win is a win. Sarai Yuri hits her with the "a deal's a deal," ready to enforce the no booze clause. And the booze fairy immediately starts screaming about him being a cheater. The salt is real. My man just hits her with the "you started it," calling her out for being a sore loser. Sarai Yuri is giving her the "check your privilege" speech, reminding her that he's the one paying the bills. The booze fairy actually apologizes, admitting she was being a brat and telling him to forget it. And then she just rage quits, saying goodbye and dipping out on him. Our boy watches her leave, acting all tough like he's glad to see her go. He's already trying to convince himself he's better off alone. The cope is strong with this one. My man is banking on her coming back once she gets hungry. Bold strategy, Cotton. But as night falls, he's starting to realize she might actually be gone for good. His brain immediately jumps to her getting eaten by a monster, and the guilt trip starts. He tries to play it cool, telling himself it's not his problem anymore. We all know that's a lie. And just like that, he grabs his gear and storms out. The sundere hero can't resist a rescue mission. Sarai Yuri is grumbling about having to go find her, acting like this is a huge chore and not him being a softie. Meanwhile, the booze fairy is out in the wild, sighing like she just realized she might have overreacted. She's moping on a giant leaf, wondering what the hell her next move is now that she's officially homeless. The booze fairy realizes she can't go back, but there's nowhere else to go. The consequences of her actions are hitting hard. Her first priority is finding a safe place to crash for the night. Survival mode has been activated. And just like that, she stumbles upon a whole bush of raspberries. Her luck hasn't completely run out yet. The narration confirms these are high-quality berries, perfect for making sweets or, other things. She remembers our boy complaining about his non-sweet crops, a conversation she completely ignored at the time. The booze fairy gets a galaxy brain idea. Use these berries as a peace offering to get her booze supply back. And she immediately gets pissed at herself for even thinking about going back to him. The sundere is fighting for its life. The booze fairy is having a full-blown sundere meltdown, yelling at herself for even considering going back. She's trying to play it cool, acting like she's not totally waiting for him to come crawling back. And her elf ears pick up a sound. The tsundere's radar is officially going off. She's actually getting her hopes up, wondering if the dumbass really came looking for her. She immediately tries to deny being happy, but the rustling in the bushes says otherwise. And it's not him, it's a demonic boar, and it does not look friendly. Wrong number. The booze fairy is screaming her lungs out, realizing she's about to become bacon bits. She's panting somewhere else, having somehow escaped the first boss fight of the night. The booze fairy thinks she's safe, completely oblivious to the giant snake sneaking up on her. And there's the rest of the snake. My girl just ran from one death trap into another, and now she's getting jumped by a three-eyed murder bird. This forest does not play. The booze fairy is getting yeeted again, screaming like she's on a demonic roller coaster. She's hiding in a bush, realizing this forest is a high-level zone, and she's a level 1 freeloader. The booze fairy is finally admitting she shouldn't have rage quit on the only guy keeping her alive, and now she's getting cornered by some spiky-ass monster plants. The boss rush continues. Sarai Yuri finally shows up with his bird squad, looking way too happy to be on a rescue mission. Our boy hits her with the "I'm glad you're safe" line, and the sundere's heart just melted. The booze fairy just breaks down, ugly crying that she'll go back. The tough act lasted about 5 minutes. Back at the crib, she's asking why he even bothered to come find her. The sundere debrief has begun. Sarai Yuri admits it was his fault she left, because he's a bigger softy than he lets on. The booze fairy hits him with the "I was being childish" apology. The sundere armor is officially cracking. Sarai Yuri just laughs it off, calling her out for acting weird. My man has absolutely zero game, and she hits him with the shirt grab and a mumbled, "Me too." The sundere apology tour continues. Our boy apologizes back, even saying he'll drop the no booze rule. He's folding faster than a lawn chair. He's already changing the subject to farm expansion, and she's just floating there completely lost. The booze fairy is losing her mind, asking why he's suddenly being so nice about her crippling alcoholism. Sarai Yuri just smiles, saying he remembered something. Get ready for the tragic backstory drop. And there it is. My man was sick in his past life, living on pills. That's why he gets her whole deal. The booze fairy is so moved she finally gives him a name to use. Masha. The freeloader is officially a party member. And our boy reveals he named a shrine after a sake goddess from his hometown, which is where he got Masha. My man's Riz is alcohol-themed. Masha is trying to act all tsundere, saying he can change the name if he wants. Sarai Yuri just hits her with a simple, "I like it," completely oblivious to the emotional weight of the moment. And Masha is absolutely glowing, finally getting the wholesome moment she's been waiting for. Meanwhile, the plot is happening somewhere else, and the slow life is about to get a new neighbor. Some poor bastards are staring down a giant shadow bear, realizing their village is about to be deleted. And this thing looks like it's been through some shit. That scar is not just for decoration. The bear charges, and these guys are about to find out what a real boss fight feels like. The lead adventurer is calling the bear a coward for running, but my man is just happy to be alive. He's just relieved they survived the Gambit grizzly without anyone getting turned into a chew toy. The leader stops his crew from chasing, saying that forest is forbidden. Guess where our boy lives? The adventurers are calling our boy's new home a demonic realm, confirming he accidentally built his farm in the final boss zone. Sarai Yuri is completely oblivious to this, just planning a casual fruit-picking trip with his freeloader roommate. And that giant-ass bear from before is running for its life from something even bigger. The power scaling in this forest is insane. Sarai Yuri is having the time of his life eating the berries Masha found, finally getting some sugar in his diet. My man is already planning to add these berries to his farm because the agricultural expansion never stops. Masha is already getting pissed he's eating her future booze, and our boy is just trying to enjoy a snack. Our boy is questioning Masha's brewing skills, asking if you can even make booze without adding sugar. The booze fairy flexes her expertise, explaining these are premium-grade berries with enough sugar to get the job done. And just like that, Masha is giving him a full-blown tutorial on how to make her juice. The brewing arc begins. The recipe is basically, let it rot for a few months and stir it daily. The slow life is really living up to its name. Sarai Yuri asks about yeast and Masha just says it's probably on the fruit. My man is not trusting nature's quality control. Masha explains it's a 50-50 shot between booze and rotten garbage, basically telling him to pray to the fermentation gods. Our boy uses appraisal and his cheat skill finally hits a wall saying the bacteria is unidentifiable. The game's telling him to get good. Sarai Yuri decides to just use his purification magic to nuke all the bacteria and start from scratch. Why gamble when you can cheat? My man's already planning his fermented food empire, cheese, soy sauce, the works. The slow life is about to get some umami. He finishes prepping the booze pots, giving one a satisfying pat. The brewing arc is officially underway. Sairai Yuri looks over his 3 giant pots of future booze, feeling pretty good about his DIY brewery. Masha is already drooling over her future drinks, completely lost in an alcoholic daydream. She's now acting like a kid on a road trip, asking, "Are we there yet?" And our boy is just done with her. Masha suddenly gets a serious look, remembering something she's been meaning to ask. The vibe just shifted. Masha finally asks the real question. Why the hell was she passed out in the woods to begin with? Our boy just casually guesses she got kicked out of a brewery. My man's one brain cell is on fire today. And Masha is absolutely floored that this dumbass guessed her entire tragic backstory on the first try. She gets all defensive, telling him not to make fun of her. The sundere is back online. And now she's grabbing his face, getting ready to drop the lore bomb on him. Masha is now demanding he listen to her sob story. The drama is about to be served. She starts her villain origin story, explaining she used to be the resident spirit of a big city brewery. The old brewery owner was a real one, a dude who actually respected the spirits he worked with. The deal was simple. She blesses the booze and they give her a cut, a perfect alcoholic partnership. But the old man died and his dickhead son took over. And that, my friends, is where the trouble started. Masha explains the new boss was a cheapskate who only cared about profits, not quality. A real corporate shill. The dickhead son literally hired a sketchy-ass mage to exorcise her for stealing his shitty booze. She had nowhere else to go since other breweries were taken, so she just dipped, becoming homeless. Our boy finally gets it. That's why she was passed out. He realizes a dude like that wouldn't listen to her anyway. Masha confirms the new owner couldn't even hear her, so she was basically just a ghost in her own home. She explains most people just see spirits as little floaty lights, not actual people. Sairai Yuri is processing that he's got spirit vision, which is why Masha thinks he's special. Masha figures his mana is just built different, which is why they vibe so well together. Our boy connects the dots, realizing his OP mana is why his potions are gourmet grade for her. And now they're just hoping their DIY booze doesn't turn into vinegar. The brewing arc is a go, and we get another 1-month time skip. The brewing arc is in the oven, and the booze is a complete failure. Masha is having a full-blown meltdown on the floor. Masha is in her emo phase, saying her hopes and dreams have been crushed, all over some rotten fruit juice. Sairai Yuri tries to cheer her up, telling her they can just try again. He's the world's most patient bartender. My man's trying to hype up the next foraging trip, but Masha's soul has already logged off for the day. Sairai Yuri is realizing that if this harvest fails, his freeloader roommate is going to have a mental breakdown. And just as he's worrying about his roommate's alcoholism, he hears a weird-ass noise from outside. My man hears something scraping against his fortress walls. The slow life is about to get a home invasion. He's wondering if his DIY pit traps finally caught something. The home security system is being tested. Sairai Yuri immediately pulls out a spear, ready to turn whatever's out there into crafting materials. Sairai Yuri peeks outside and his face immediately says, "I've made another terrible mistake." And it's that giant-ass Gambit grizzly from before, casually snapping a boar's neck like a glow stick. My man is staring down the one-eyed, scarred-up final boss of the entire damn forest. The narrator hits us with a nature documentary segment about animals stocking up for winter. And that includes this absolute unit, who's clearly bulking for the cold season. Sairai Yuri is frozen as the bear stomps down, probably rethinking his entire slow life plan. Our boy is looking up at this absolute unit, realizing he's about to get turned into a paste. The size difference is just disrespectful. My man looks like a damn action figure next to this thing. He realizes the bear didn't fall in his trap, it just yoinked the free meal right out of it. Our boy is trying to slowly back away, remembering every how to survive a bear attack video he's ever seen. Sairai Yuri's one brain cell remembers the don't run from a bear rule, knowing it'll chase him down, and he immediately ignores that rule, deciding to just book it. His signature move is back, baby. My man is trying to kite the final boss of the forest into one of his DIY traps. He slams on the brakes with his OSHA-violating sandals, hoping his plan actually works for once. Our boy lines up the charging bear with his pitfall trap, feeling like a tactical genius. The bear is coming in hot, and my man is ready to secure his winter supply of crafting materials. But this bear's got a glint in its eye that says, "I've seen this Looney Tunes bit before." And the absolute unit just yeets itself over the trap like it's an Olympic long jumper. Sairai Yuri is completely shook. His one big brain plan just got dunked on. The bear lands perfectly, and our boy realizes this thing isn't just strong, it's smart. He's so screwed. Sairai Yuri finally stops running and decides to throw hands with the final boss of the forest. He pulls out the earth magic and erects a whole-ass wall to block the bear's path. My man's got that checkmate look in his eye, thinking he's finally outsmarted it, and the bear just casually hops over the wall too. This thing's got the vertical leap of a goddamn flea. Our boy is just standing there, completely stunned that this bear is an Olympic-level parkour expert. But Sarai Yuri just says, this is fine, because he's got another cheat code up his sleeve. And he just traps the bear midair in a giant pillar of earth. My man's playing 4D chess now. The dude just created a whole-ass mountain to trap one bear, the definition of overkill. And he's back to his signature move, drowning the boss. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sarai Yuri is already praying for its soul and planning how to turn it into a new winter coat. Sarai Yuri is having a power-level crisis, realizing he just folded the forest's final boss with minimal effort. The kid's now praying he never meets another human, because he's getting way too comfortable with this level of violence. My man just shoves the entire grizzly bear into his inventory, deciding to butcher the final boss later, and his new priority is finding something to cheer up Masha after her booze-related meltdown. The simp arc continues. He comes back with a whole-ass farmer's market haul, looking proud as hell of his foraging skills. Masha is still in her emo phase, her soul completely logged off from the material world. She's having a full-blown existential crisis, crying that she's at her limit over some rotten fruit juice. Sarai Yuri tries to snap her out of it by offering her a single, special-looking berry. Turns out he found a magic berry that's basically a pre-made shot of booze if you cook it. Masha is completely flustered by the perfect gift, and our boy has no idea why she's suddenly tongue-tied. Masha hits him with a whole lecture on the philosophy of brewing, and our boy is just apologizing for being nice. But after all that talk, she immediately starts chowing down on the magic booze berry anyway. Sarai Yuri is just glad his plan worked, even if he has absolutely no idea what just happened. My man is relieved his freeloader roommate is finally back to normal, watching her happily munch away. He looks outside and realizes the days are getting shorter. The seasonal depression arc is loading. And the single brain cell finally logs on. Winter is coming and he is not prepared. Our boy is already daydreaming about his cozy winter setup, realizing the prep grind is about to start. Masha is hyped for a new project, and our boy officially kicks off the winter survival training arc. My man's already got a 4-point plan for winter: heat, food, clothes, and a comfy bed. He asks Masha for survival tips, and she hits him with the most obvious answer ever: a fireplace. Our boy is already finding problems with the fireplace idea, asking Masha if she sees the flaw in her plan. He's explaining that a fireplace only heats one spot, leaving the rest of his shithole starter home freezing. My man's complaining that his bed is a rock slab and he's gonna freeze his ass off from the floor up. Masha points out his massive woodpile won't last if he's running a stove and a fireplace 24/7. Sarai Yuri is deep in thought, his one brain cell trying to solve the complex science of not freezing to death. And the light bulb finally goes on. My man is about to pull another cheat code out of his ass. He announces he's got a brilliant idea, and immediately starts using earth magic on his house. Masha is giving him the most unimpressed look, completely over his magic solves everything attitude. And my man just invented ancient Roman underfloor heating using the stove's exhaust. This kid is a menace. Masha is completely lost, and our boy is telling her to touch his new heated floors like a proud dad. Masha touches the floor and is completely shook that his dumbass idea actually worked. My man gives us a whole engineering diagram of his DIY central heating system. This kid's a menace. Sarai Yuri explains he's just recycling wasted heat, like a true eco-friendly Isekai protagonist. Masha is now melting into the floor like a cat, completely addicted to the new heated floors. Our boy just watches her pass out from pure comfort, telling her it's way too early for a nap. He just leaves his freeloader roommate to sleep on the floor and moves on to the next chore. The grind never stops. Sarai Yuri is back in the fields, ready to cash in on his autumn harvest. Time to see the fruits of his labor. My man is pulling up some weird-ass striped sweet potatoes, hoping his main crop didn't fail. And it's a massive success. Our boy is holding up his loot like he just won the lottery. He's admiring his haul, wondering why a place with such OP soil is completely abandoned. My man is clueless. Sarai Yuri spots a weird vine he doesn't recognize, wondering what other random shit he planted. He gives the vine a tug, trying to remember what the hell this plant is supposed to be, and he pulls up that screaming, cursed-ass mandrake from before. The nightmare has returned. Our boy is screaming right back at it, having a full-blown panic attack over a vegetable. He calms down, realizing he completely forgot he yeeted this cursed thing back into the ground months ago. My man realizes if there's one, there's more, and starts pulling up the whole cursed family. And he unearths a whole damn army of screaming vegetables. This is his personal hell. He's just holding a string of them, wondering why his farm is now a haunted house attraction. He uses appraisal and finds out they're a key potion ingredient. My man accidentally struck gold. Sairai Yuri looks over his massive food stash, feeling confident he's got enough to survive the winter. Sairai Yuri is already planning his winter wardrobe, thinking about turning that final boss bear into a sweater. My man tries using the whole bear pelt as a blanket and immediately gets folded by the sheer weight of it. He's now complaining he can't find any cotton, so he might have to sleep on a pile of straw like a peasant. And just as he's having his first world problems, someone screams his name from outside. His bird sidekick Omochi is back from his winter vacation, flying in solo for a surprise visit. Our boy's first thought is that his friend got fat, immediately calling him out on his winter weight. He's now worried he overfed his boy, making him an easy target for predators. The dad instincts are kicking in. Omochi clarifies he's not fat, he's just got his winter plumage. It's fluff, not fat, you dumbass. Sairai Yuri is having his mind blown by the concept of winter feathers, staring at his fluffy friend in awe. My man is now jealous of a bird's winter coat, wishing he could just grow his own insulation. My man is asking his bird friend for fashion advice, trying to source enough feathers for a winter coat. Omochi tells him there's a rucka nearby, and our boy has no idea what the hell that is. And right on cue, a scream for help interrupts the conversation. The slow life is never slow. Sairai Yuri recognizes the voice as Sakura, immediately thinking his other bird friend is getting folded. Our boy sprints outside, ready to throw hands with whatever is messing with his found family. And the ruka is a whole-ass kaiju bird that makes the gambit grizzly look like a damn pet. Omochi confirms that yes, this absolute unit is the ruka, and my man is just speechless. Sairai Yuri realizes if this thing attacks, his entire Stardew Valley farm is getting wiped off the map. He goes full Papa Bear mode, screaming he won't let it eat his friends and whips out a wind cutter. And his attack just bounces off the monster bird like a damn spitball. His cheat code just got nerfed. Sairai Yuri realizes the bird is using its own wind magic as a shield. My man's cheat code just got counterspelled. The kaiju bird is now screaming its head off, probably pissed he even tried to fight back. And the damn thing can talk, screaming, "Kill the prey" at him. The slow life just got a talking final boss. Our boy realizes diplomacy is out, and he's about to get jumped by a sentient kaiju. And of course, it brought its whole damn crew. My man is now facing a 3v1 against a flock of murder birds. He's realizing he can't focus on one without the other two folding him. The tactical brain cell is working overtime. Sairai Yuri decides to go for the legs first. If you can't kill it, cripple it. My man's getting serious, saying he's been grinding his magic for this exact moment. The training arc is paying off. He whips out a new move, basically a magical flashbang, to blind the absolute shit out of them. And it works. The whole murder bird squad is stunned and confused. My man just created his own opening. Sairai Yuri follows up his flashbang with another move, not giving these murder birds a second to recover. My man hits them with a confusion spell, deciding to mentally break them before he physically breaks them. He's charging up his signature move, gathering a whole-ass ocean to deal with this problem permanently, and he just traps the entire squad in a mega water ball. My man's solution to everything is drowning it. Masha pops her head out, asking if he really just folded 3 kaiju-sized final bosses by himself. She's losing her mind that he took on 3 at once, and our boy is just casually apologizing for suffocating them. Sairai Yuri is having a moral crisis about his methods, while Masha just calls him out for being a psycho. With the boss fight over, he's got all the materials he needs to start his winter clothing side quest. And we're back to the crafting grind, with our boy starting his textile empire by soaking some plants. Of course, he's using a custom-made scraper from his earth magic because manual labor is for suckers. The guide hits him with the arts and crafts tutorial on how to spin thread. My man's about to become a one-man textile factory. And of course, his cheat skill lets him spin thread at superhuman speed. This kid's crafting grind is just unfair. He's now stuffing a bag with the purified feathers of the kaiju birds he just murdered, from final boss to pillow stuffing. Our boy is hyped, having just crafted a whole-ass duvet set. Masha's already claiming her tiny freeloader version. My man's now rocking a sweater made from the final boss bear, holding Masha in her matching fit. The drip is post-apocalyptic chic. But the narrator hits us with a, "But wait, there's more," because the winter prep is never truly over. Masha is absolutely melting into the floor, loving the heated floors and cozy sweater. She's living her best freeloader life. She complains that the only thing missing is booze, and our boy hits her with a smug look like he's got a surprise. He tells her to check out the back room, and Masha is immediately suspicious of his sudden generosity. My man opens a new door and Mosh is just wondering if he built a whole new room just for storage. Sairayuri is hitting her with the smug "wait till you see this" face, acting like he's about to drop a new album, and my man reveals he built a whole-ass hot spring in his house. The slow life just got a luxury spa.